we got the big man, the new champion of the 140 pounds, Rayo, Jose Venezuela. Welcome to the PorterWay Podcast, big dog.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you, for the invitation.
I feel like this is your first time on the podcast.
As a champion.
There you go. I like that. And of course,
Yeah.
with that being said, like kind of walk us through your feelings as that fight was ending and as you were going to the middle of the ring as the announcement of the winner was being announced.
Oh man, it was just I was getting so many feelings, so many thoughts, so many emotions running through my head, and just a dream come true. Just super, just felt super grateful and just blessed.
Did it ever get a point at that in the fight, Rayo, where you're like, "Oh, this is my fight. I'm dictating the pace. This guy can't do nothing. I'm one step ahead of him."
I think it was about maybe when I got to the third round, I was like, he gave me everything in his arsenal. Now, he hadn't gave me everything, but he had gave me most of what he was gonna give me. He made little adjustments in the fights, try to give me these crazy side steps that he do, or instead of throwing the overhand, he started throwing it straight. But after that, I was like, he doesn't know how to catch. He's not seeing me, so I felt good.
Right. I got to ask, did you guys even prepare for a jab coming from from Pitbull? I really want to know what that process is like getting ready for Pitbull.
Well, we basically just got four similar styles, short guys, Oscar Duarte, Wilson. I wish I remembered his last name, but he's actually he was an amateur from Texas, but very similar, very strong, and I had all those guys rushing me, four different guys. So that was a big help. I was ready. I was in condition to go 12.
Did it feel good?
Go ahead, Zittel.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Antt.
Oh no,
Go
Rayo.
ahead, Antt.
I was expecting a firefight, 3 rounds of hell and somebody get clipped. But you came in showing us a Rayo I'd never seen before, bro. And that was beautiful fighting. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, I feel like I was just, I've been able to be myself, lately, and just have fun with it, and trust my instincts, and just
True that. Hey, listen, hold up.
Yeah, it messed up for a moment, but I think
Zittel, before you go, let me ask Rayo this. Because I know a lot of fighters, sometimes if you're asked to do something that's not what you are usually accustomed to doing, sometimes you may be a little apprehensive. You may not feel like that's the right thing for you to do. When it came to the game plan, did you at any point doubt the game plan? Did you at any point feel like, man, I just got to go get this guy. I got to knock him out first before he gets me? Or were you comfortable with the game plan, from the moment you got to camp to the moment you ended camp?
I think originally I feel like my style of boxing is a boxer. I used to watch a lot of Pernell. I used to watch a lot of Pernell Whitaker. A lot of Erislandy Lara, when I was young, and a lot of lefties, slick lefties. So that was always that was always just second nature to me. But I went a really long time without doing it. So when I started coming back to doing it again, it was just this is how I was doing it. It was just remembering, and then obviously they weren't coming out, the moves weren't coming out as sharp. So it was a little frustrating, but I just knew I had to stick to the game plan. I knew it was a process because first I was also gaining weight. So during camp, I had put on a lot of weight. So my moves were a bit slower and stuff like that. So there was moments I just knew it was a process. I knew when I cut the weight, I knew when I did all that, I would be a lot faster, and I just kept going. And then towards the end of camp, I just started feeling exactly how I was feeling. So It's nice.
And we boxed Zittel out of this interview. So go ahead, let's get Zittel a call.
No, it's all. Hey, it is the PorterWay Podcast, so I never forget that. But
yeah,
Rayo, congrats, man! Sincerely, congrats. Rayo's a guy I've been able to interview since he would train alongside David Benavidez up in Big Bear, and was about a handful of fights into it, and so very happy for you, first of all, Rayo. But I remember visiting you, sparring with David in not in Big Bear, but in another part of California. And you were just, man, you were, it was like you were developing into a knockout artist at 135. But you'd always say, hey man, my real style, I'm a natural boxer. And I'd be like, I don't know, man. This guy seems like an offensive fighter, like a puncher. But then you didn't get the decision a lot of people thought you deserved against Colbert. And I remember you said afterward, I think I got to go back maybe to Oregon, get with my original trainer, get back to my original style.
Seattle.
And now Seattle. Well, I thought Seattle's in Seattle, Washington. Seattle, Washington. My bad. That's just bad. Right. So
100%. No, yeah. Continue.
So you did that, and then it was like we talked about it on the show last week, and it's like I don't know if he can just outbox Cruz. It might end up a little bit like Rolly, where he's backing you up from rope to rope, and you're looking for the right shots, but you can't get it off. But you told me a couple months ago, hey, bro, Rolly did this and that wrong. I know exactly what to do against this guy.
Yeah.
So can you bring us through the progression of your style? You were working on offense with Benavidez. He's still in the camp, Jose Benavidez Sr. Now you're with Robert and you're boxing. Can you take us through the evolution of that style? And when you face boxers, say you fight a Shakur, can you still be the puncher too?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's just kind of, I think it was just all preparation. It was just all preparation the right way for the right style. Like, I think that's what it was. Like, with Edwin De Los Santos, preparation should have been, I should have prepared the right way. Like, I think it's all preparation. Like, styles make fights, and I can adapt my style to a puncher if I have to get heavy-handed and come forward. Which a guy like Shakur Stevenson, which that's what I would do, cut the ring and march forward.
So you feel like you're more of a complete fighter now?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've always been a complete fighter, but now I have the maturity, the experience to use it and, put it together for fight.
He mentioned a rematch after the fight. I really don't feel like a rematch is in store. I've said this for a long time. Pitbull can't use a jab. He doesn't use a jab, and he doesn't know how to move his feet when he punches. Guys get away from him, and it's like that restart process. That being said, I think that fight will look a lot like that. But is there even a possibility that a rematch is on the table?
Well, I think he has his rematch clause. I think, if I'm being 100% honest, he has real smart people around him. Sean Gibbons, he's real smart. 2 losses for Pitbull won't be a good look because he's a huge star. Like that would really that could really slow everything down.
Yeah,
it would. I feel like if you're Sean Gibbons, you get him a couple W's. Keep it now. You rebuild that. Okay, now something's different. I don't know. You can start that, but he's not beating me again. He needs a whole lot in his arsenal to catch me how I am right now in this point in my style.
Yeah, they came.
I was going left, right, under, back. He had no answers. He couldn't.
They came to me after the fight and they said, "Who do you think won?" I said, "Listen, Rayo won, and everybody in here gonna be mad." And sure enough, everybody was booing after the decision and all that. This didn't seem like it bothered you too much, though, that everybody booed once the decision was made.
No, because he has a huge fan base. He has a huge fan base, and those he has the kind of fans that are gonna back him up, and that's what they did. And you'll still see him in the comment sections here and there, but that's just what comes with his fan base.
And it's one of those things, Sean, I hate in boxing. At the end of the day, Pitbull is a tough fight for anybody, man. He's a great fighter. Rayo was just on his shit. It is what it is. It's boxing. I don't like when people take a loss here and there and then we write them off.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
you know, they picked the perfect style for Pitbull. You know, just being lefty, being slick, and then being able to he felt like my strength too. So I think there was moments where he was thinking about he couldn't just be too reckless either. So it was just a good style of fight for me, I think.
Rayo, right now, I know when you went through it, those losses was they blessings in your career, bro?
Definitely, bro. They were blessings. They were real tough on me because I know how good I am. Like, not just I'm not just a puncher, and I knew nobody knew. I knew nobody knew, but I knew, and to me it was really hard because I felt like I let myself down. I was like, man, fuck all this shit. Let me do this the way I know how to do it. Let me, get back to my roots, and that's what I did, and now I'm just happy, I'm blessed, and I feel good.
We're gonna keep Rayo for a couple more minutes. Zittel, before you go, I got one from Matt Bergeson. Shout out to Matt. He probably one of the biggest fans on the podcast right now. He said, question for Rayo, as a fan of your previous performances myself, it didn't come to a surprise that you were able to execute your plan against Pitbull so effortlessly. Congratulations, champ. Enjoy this win with your family. So he just really wanted to just congratulate you and let you know, man, he's a fan. Game recognized game. So he knew that you were going to come to ring with that kind of style and put on that kind of performance.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the support, and we're going to continue to, to be great.
He says, sorry, Zittel. He said, what I wanted to know, did Giovanni Cabrera or Gervonta Davis performance give you somewhat of a blueprint towards how you execute your size and speed to win the fight?
Yeah, I would say more Cabrera. The only difference is I saw he did really good things in the fight. He did really bad things, like drop his hands really bad, like really low and get tired. So I'm like, you can tweak a few stuff, and you could have done a bit better. So
yeah, go ahead, Zittel.
No, you're really in business now, man, for some big business, like life-changing money fights and life-changing fights. I don't know how familiar Shawn and Antt are with the Teofimo sparring stories, but you got a world title in the division just like he does now. What's the best fights out there? Ryan Garcia, after you won, congratulated you and said, I'd love to give Rayo an opportunity. What are you thinking, Rayo?
I think any of those fights is good, to be honest. I would love to fight any of those guys. Teofimo fight. We have history. I saw a video of him yesterday and his dad. They said no. They basically said, fuck off. We're not fighting him. So, we would have to get through that. But, I think if we did, that would be huge. And I think I think that's a fight that, shouldn't be hard to make. If I want it, he wants it.
What's the best fight for you at 140, you think? Stylistically, what fight makes you look great? Yeah, 140.
Probably Haney or WBC.
I think Sandor Martin is lined up with Richardson Hitchens. I think those might be like the two guys that could eventually, or Alberto Puello. Alberto Puello is the interim champion, right? And that's a doable fight, isn't it?
Yeah. We're PBC. It's easy to make. I think, I think he's a good fighter, but I think I'm all around a better fighter. He fought really smart though. I was really happy with his performance. I think he stuck to his game plan the whole night. He didn't overdo it. But Gary Russell was a bit he was a little stiff and a little, I don't know, some of his movements weren't as loose. So I think that's why he was able to, keep him off. So, it would be a great fight.
How good does it feel from the sense of now you're here, but you always thought you belonged here, and maybe you weren't considered that, having taken a loss here and there, but now here you are with all the guys that you always felt you belonged with, Tio and Ryan and Devin and all the young guys.
It's a good feeling, It's I'm just more happy the fans know, I just wanted everybody to see that, I could compete with these guys, and it worked out perfectly, beating a guy like Pitbull, who everybody, liked and respect.
I thought Shawn was gonna come at you. Well, speaking of how it felt good, did Pitbull was trying to kind of intimidate you before the fight, and I even know in Mexican culture sometimes there's this thing between Mexicans born in the United States versus fighters from Mexico. Sometimes there's like you gotta prove to them that you're just as tough and all that. Yeah, what'd you think about all that?
Well, I'm Mexican. I was born in Mexico.
That's right, in Los Mochis, right?
Yeah,
now that I remember. Yeah, my bad.
So, and aside from him trying to intimidate me, I think I'm like, I thought it was cool. Then I was like, I don't think he really thinks he's trying to, like, he's intimidating me. Like, I don't fear nobody. I took this fight because I know what I could do. So I think he was just. I just think he overlooked me,
That sounds a lot like what more than likely happened. I want to do something real quick, try to clear the air as much as we can. A lot of times when a fighter shows up to a ring with a different camp or a different head coach, people get it misconstrued like, oh, they fell out, oh, there's an issue over there, so on and so forth. Kind of talk to us a little bit about the relationship with the Garcias opposed and also having the relationship with the Benavidez camp and like clear the air, let everybody know like everybody's good. It's just what you decided to do for this fight or moving forward.
At the time, me and Benavidez, we after those losses, we just weren't getting along, and like I was still like we're still cool, but I was just like we're not getting along. Like the kind of person he is, the kind of person I is, I'm like, and I was like, to save our relationship, I'm like, I think I just have to go because this is not gonna turn out well for nobody. So I was like, let me go back to Mario. You're still my manager. I would love for you to keep working with me. I love, he does his job, everything is smooth. I think it fixed our relationship. He has a lot of respect for me now, and I have a lot of respect for him. And then it was just like, it's great.
Beautiful. Still a part of the team.
Yeah. So it's like, now I work with Robert. Robert gets along with Benavidez good, my coach. So it's like, everything's good now. Just everything more, from a distance and.
Love it. Listen, man. Zittel, you got anything else? I just got one more thing.
Zittel? I guess just again with Tio, because that's a big fight now. That's a unification, and I know you spoke. People could look it up. What you said, what's happened in the past in sparring. Do you think that's a case of, hey, it's just sparring and it's a much different challenge in under the bright lights, or do you feel like, hey, it'll play out kind of similar to what happened when you guys sparred a few times?
I think a fight's always different. Sparring is sparring. A fight's always different, but he knows. He just knows, and he what I can do, and he's felt me. So it's like you have a problem right here. So it's like, why fight him when you could probably go another route? So I think he's just. I can't believe. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised, but I am. It's like, I don't know. You're a champ, man. Fight. I'm a champion. Why not fight each other?
Yeah. And you got anything else for the young man, Rayo?
Nah, man. I just want to say congratulations, man. You impressed the hell out of me. I'm gonna be honest. That was a different side of Rayo I never seen coming. And hey, man, congrats, salute, man. I wish you nothing but the best. I'm big on you can still be a superstar after losses. A.K.A. Shawn Porter. Get better after losses. Learn from your losses.
Yeah.
So, man, I wish you nothing but the best.
Yep. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. We're gonna keep grinding.
Lastly, from me, just some advice. If you have to, man, stay in the gym. And if you have to beg to get back in the ring before the end of this year, you can't let this momentum get away from you. You have a face because of who you were in the ring with. You have an opportunity to get his fans. You may not have gotten his fans that night because you were fighting against him and you were fighting a really difficult style. But if you show up and show out again, all those people that watched you when you fought Pitbull, they're going to say, oh, he's back in the ring, and they check you out. You impress them. Now you got more fans. You can't afford to allow this moment to get away from you, this momentum to go past. You got to get back in the ring soon, big dog.
Yep. And that's great advice. I've even already been like, man, I want to just stay healthy. I want to keep taking care of my body, and I just don't want to lose this, this flow I'm in. So that's what I'll continue to do.
Keep flowing, big dog. All that being said, thank you for joining the PorterWay Podcast. We'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you, man. God bless you.
Thank you.
God bless you, Rayo.